Well, I don't see the point in waiting any longer, so let's bring her out. The star attraction, the one you came to see. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, Miss Judy Gold.
So, 17, you're everything, and then you get raped at 17. Right. Who do you tell first?
I think...
tell me if I'm over asking you anything,
it's okay.
because I believe if you don't talk about shit, it's silence is death.
No, I was just starting to kind of write about this chapter in my life because I've been trying to like write a book right now.
Right.
And I was thinking, I think it was a friend. She wasn't like, she was like one of my best friends, not like she didn't have like the title of my best friend, but she was like my closest friend that I thought maybe like had some kind of like sexual experiences. None of my best friends had a boyfriend or anything. Right. And
but did you have a boyfriend at the time?
I did. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's who it was.
Okay. That's what I was wondering.
So I remember I told her, and she like, I didn't use like the word. I just told her what happened.
Right.
And she very much had that reaction of like, that doesn't sound like him. Are you sure? Like, doesn't, kind of. And I immediately like backtracked very hard and was like, yeah, no. And then I kind of, really, the first person I told was him because, he sort of, there was a moment of him being like, did I do that? And me being like, yeah. And him being like, ugh, and him feeling really bad.
Right.
And he felt, it was like the classic kind of guilt trip of like, he felt so bad that then
of course.
So then you're
him. Right. Like the
like
abused
I feel
wife.
Guilty for feeling bad. Where I'm like, he's like, I'm a monster. I did this. And I'm like, oh, no, you're not. Well, so I was with him for like at least a year after that.
When you were with him, was it always in the back of your mind?
Yeah, it was always, and it was always very present when we like would try to like
be intimate
again, because that was like our first time trying to be intimate. And so anytime after that, it would come up, and I would get upset, and then he'd be like, is this like, what are we gonna do? And so it was like this thing we were like trying to work through as like a young couple.
Did you feel like you were living a lie, or were you hiding something? I mean, did you know that it would be so impactful? That, I mean, I know it probably took up some space in your head.
Yeah, it was something I was thinking about all the time, and then I had a couple more events happen in college, and then after college.
So it's 17, then you break up.
We break up. I go to college. I start like, I go to college. I started like drinking a lot and going to parties a lot.
Oh, that's unusual.
Yeah,
that never happened to me.
Crazy.
The shit I drank in college, by the way, Reuniti. Have you heard of that?
No.
Oh, they used to have this thing. It'd be Reuniti on ice is nice, and it was like fucking sparkling shit. Sweet wine. We would like drink the shittiest fucking shit and then puke. It was so stupid.
Drinking like Everclear with Mountain Dew.
Ew, it's like, so disgusting.
Just, like, getting like blacked out drunk. But I was like kind of, I remember like thinking it really took me a long time to process that. I thought I just like was like crazy not over this breakup. Like, because we broke up when college started.
Who broke up with who?
He broke up with me.
Right.
And I thought.
Did he go to a different college?
Yeah, he did.
And that's why.
Well, like we tried to date for a few months.
Did you go to the prom and everything, or do all the?
Yeah, we did all that.
Ugh,
but
I never.
Yeah, like we broke up after a few months of college, and I remember like I was like acting like, and I've never acted like this after another breakup, but I was like not letting it go. Like I was like sending him a lot of messages, like calling him, leaving voicemails. Like
because you had unresolved
I was like
shit.
Getting drunk and like sending him like emails. Like it was like really crazy. And I remember feeling like I'm being so crazy and like not over this breakup. And I like
well, how did he respond?
Well, he was like at first he was like responding to everything, and he felt really guilty. And then he eventually like sent me. He like
like a cease
sent
and
me
desist.
like a long
Yeah.
text that like told me I'm like a sociopath, manipulative, and that
Oh,
like
fuck you,
know,
fuck face.
yeah. So and that like finally like him finally like being really mean to me like kind of allowed me to like stop, like because he like that was what was so difficult for me is that
he was so
not
kind
mean to me.
afterwards. Yeah.
He like we had this one very traumatizing event, and then he was always so nice to me that it was like I felt like I wasn't allowed to feel the way I felt.
Well,
you know?
it's like saying to you, "Oh no, that was that's all in your head. That's
well,
all."
it was like
yeah.
that was one time.
It was
because it was one
unresolved.
time.
Right.
It was like, why can't you let it go? Kind of. And so in my mind, I was like being crazy about this breakup.
Was that how you lost your virginity?
Yeah.
Oh.
So I thought I felt like I was being crazy about the breakup, and then it was like
Did you go to therapy?
not until like a couple of years ago.
Okay.
So it was like this thing where I was like, why can't I let this go? Why can't I date anyone
Right.
else? And I really didn't figure out until a few years later, after when it happened again
Right.
with like a stranger. I was like, oh,
You
know,
were a junior in college or sophomore in college? Or?
junior in college, and it was like kind of all came like the fact that the last event came back to me. I
So
started
you
to like
started having a vision during the the second time you were raped, it was by a stranger.
yeah, we're like a friend of a friend, yeah.
And
But
did you have recall? Like you're like
well, it was I was just thinking about like afterward. I was thinking about the first time,
right.
And so I
Of course.
realized like the hang up was not about the breakup. It was about this trauma. And then,
Did you tell
still-
anyone after that one?
Yeah. I told my best friend and my sister, and it took me it took me a few months to like process that happened, but that one was I was a lot more fast to like accept. And then
Did they help your friend and your sister?
Yeah, I mean it's complicated.
Right.
But there wasn't like it wasn't like a thing that I was really seeking a lot of like conversations about. It was
Right.
kind of like I was upset about it and I was trying to move on.
To compartment, like say,
Yeah.
okay, bye.
And
Not dealing with you. Yeah.
and then I would say I kind of got to a point when I moved to New York. I started going to therapy, and I had really reached a point of like starting to heal and accept. And because fully, the biggest thing was at the time until I started going to therapy, I didn't accept that I wasn't labeling it for what it was. I was like, I knew it was traumatic. I knew both events were traumatic, but no one had like validated me. No one had really said like, yes, that's what that was. And so a therapist did that. But then I sort of got set back because while I was in therapy, the third event happened.
Mhm.
And that's when, while I was in therapy,
Oh, well, I mean,
it was like kind of one of those moments where like I told the therapist about it.
yeah.
And she had been like rooting. It was a friend that she had been rooting for me to like
Be with?
try to date.
Right.
And I just saw her. She had this it was one of those such small moments where she was just like, no, like really? And I like did, I
did a back.
I did the backtrack for her, like as if she were my friend, where I was
Right.
like, actually, and so I sort of like started over in this process.
Did she catch that?
Well, it's like kind of tragic because she moved to Texas like the next week. Like,
Oh
so
my
we
God. You
So
finally.
we never got to like really recover.
Why'd she move to Texas? Who the fuck moves to Texas from
Like,
New York?
do therapy
Sorry,
there.
Texas.
I don't know. But it
was she
like,
young? What was she like?
She was young. I mean, she was really great. It was just like,
Was she Jewish?
I think so, yeah.
Sorry, I just had to ring the bell. So, in between these three traumas, did you date? Did you?
Not really. I mean, I would like, I had a couple of like good sexual experiences.
Right.
A lot of like,
Well, that's good.
a
I'm
lot
glad
of
about
like,
that.
a lot of mainly like drunkenly, like kind of almost hooking up with somebody
Right,
and
right,
then being like, yeah.
Right.
And then it was after the third, I was in this friend group that was really toxic, and it was like a friend group of like comedians and writers and like creative people, this collective that I had started, and most of them were really not. They were very disappointing in the reaction when I told them. And
did they know who the person was?
Yeah, and they like stayed friends with him, and their solution was just to like not invite me to things they invited him to. Like,
oh, that's nice.
So I just like started being more excluded. But then one person in the group, I started dating a comedian, and I told him
Jewish.
No, sorry. I started dating him, and I told him, and he was like the first person to have like the sane reaction of being like, wait, we're not obviously not going to be around him. Like, fuck this guy.
I love him.
And he was like also the person who like really opened the door to me to doing stand up as well. He's a stand up comic.
Right. Wow.
And so he was kind of like, he was really the first person I met, and it helped. Like, it sounds stupid, but it helped that he's a man and that he believed me, because I like a man had never believed me before.
Right. Did you ever tell your father?
I mean, he knows now.
Right. He must be so fucking pissed off.
Well, he's very proud of me. I think he kind of knew. We don't like talk about things that directly, but he came to my show, Rape Jokes by Survivors,
which I wanted. I love that.
2018. And he came to that, and I remember he was like teary-eyed in the back when I introduced the show, and I said I was a survivor then, and he was just like, I just remember he said afterward, he came up to me and was just like, I wish my generation were more like you.
Right.
He was just like,
I love your father. So your therapist moves to Texas. Do you go to a new therapist?
I didn't until like actually after like the Me Too
#MeToo, baby.
Me Too blast. I was very like triggered by all that.
So
and I remember I was talking to my boyfriend at the time a lot about it, and I decided to start going to therapy. I think I tried. The first therapist I went to was like very traumatizing and Jewish. She was just like, she just like asked me a lot of like interrogating questions, and then like at the end of our session, she was like, you know what? I think this did happen to you. And I was like, well, Jesus, thank you. Like, thank you so much. That's not why I came in here.
Oh my God.
It was like, it was like the classic, like, sort of like self-destructive, like, sort of boomer reaction that she was doing. I'm like, what was going on with you at this time in your life? Were you drinking a lot?
Oh, shut the fuck up.
Like, nah.
Did you go back to her?
No.
Okay, good.
And then I like sort of tried to, it was like, I was really like, I was kind of burned by that in the last session with the person before that. So I was really hesitant. And then I decided I wanted to go to group therapy.
That's good. Yeah.
Because I thought I could like, even if I didn't trust the therapist, I could like
get someone,
these other women around me.
Yeah.
And I found someone, and that went pretty well for a while. I ended up leaving mainly because I couldn't afford it.
Right.
And kind of the group sort of became toxic. I think that happens with group therapy a lot, where it's like everyone's kind of fucked up, and people's like me. And this one woman started like trying to fight every time. Like,
oh God! And plus, probably in your group therapy, someone wants all the fucking attention.
Yeah, that's like this woman. I felt like there's like always someone I've heard this about group therapy. Like there's someone that you like decide is like your mom that you're like fighting with, and like I don't know what our deal was, but I remember feeling like I needed to like protect the rest of the group from this like one person in the group.
Oh,
it's so
that's
it was
sweet
like
of you. Yeah. Okay.
But it's like therapy. It's sort of. I think you have to find the right.
Yeah.
I haven't. Yet.
Hello. I've been to so many. April 2018. You produce your first comedy show, which is Rape Jokes by Survivors.
Right.
Where did you do this?
That was at Caveat in the Lower East Side.
Okay.
And I produced it. It was the first comedy show I ever produced. and I did it. I was wanting to make a documentary about comics who are telling jokes about rape, and I had found,
which is usually men.
Yeah, but I wanted to find, but specifically, I wanted to make a documentary about survivors telling jokes.
I love that.
I had seen one. I had seen like a joke, and I was like, I need to there's got to be more of this. So I was researching, and I was trying to find the women, and I had started like a spreadsheet, and I got of 50 women that I heard had a joke,
right?
And I was trying to find how do I find these women telling these jokes, because they're not telling them to every show, and it's not in their regular set.
Right.
So I was like, if I want to film them telling these jokes, I need to produce a show.
Brilliant.
So I produced this show, but I didn't really realize the show was going to be such a hit. It sold out and got written up in Elle magazine, and
it's fucking great. So who can I ask who was on it?
It was Wendy Starling, Adrian Truscott.
I'm not sure Truscott's a Jewish name. Go ahead.
I don't know.
Okay, go ahead. It's so stupid. Go ahead.
Becca O'Neill, Rosa Escondón.
Oh, you can do it. All right.
I know she's Jewish.
All right.
Who else? Irene Marrow, and there's a few others.
And how long did everyone do?
Well, some people. So I picked people based on how long I thought they could do on this particular topic, because it was everyone was doing purely rape jokes.
Right.
So there was one section of the show actually where I had 6 people on stage at the same time, and they were doing a handoff of they had
that's
3
fucking
minutes
brilliant.
of jokes.
Yeah,
there were 2 minutes of jokes, and then a few people did 10 minutes. One person did 15, and most people did 5. So it was
fucking great.
I was really just trying to get as many people on the show as possible to show hey, here's 15 women who are survivors.
How did the audience react?
People really loved it, and a lot of people came up to me after. I could tell there was a lot of survivors in the room.
Yeah.
There was one group of women that said they drove up from Baltimore when they read about it in the New York Times that morning.
Wow.
And it was a lot of people out the door that couldn't get in. It felt like there was a need for it. It was
absolutely.
Well, it was the night that Cosby got arrested.
Ugh.
And it was not long after Dave Chappelle's special had come out that was commenting on it. It was but there hadn't really been commentary that felt like it was commentary for survivors. It's everyone talking about it was not really talking about it in the way that I was looking for, that I was hungry for.
Right.
So I felt like there was a hunger for this voice.
Of course. And perspective.
And so people were asking me for more shows for months. But I actually right away, someone, a production company optioned the project for me almost immediately after the show.
Right.
So, and they were trying to make it bigger and attach a celebrity comic and make it this big.
Right.
Because
nothing can happen unless there's a celebrity.
Right.
On it.
So then it's that immediately is okay, we're not gonna be able to do another show for a couple years, or however long it takes.
Right.
And so I was very frustrated in that there was such an eagerness for people wanting more shows. Most of the comics said it was their favorite show they'd ever done, and they wanted.
I'm sure.
And so I've wanted for a while. I was trying to push it, and not that I fully gave up, but I was prepared to let it go.
Mm-hmm.
And the final conversation I had about it. I mean, now it's not final, but I had met with the producer the weekend before this happened, and she was look, we've sent out asks to, talent, and we can't find this celebrity. You don't have the credibility as a producer, and we need
fuck.
So it was kind of
that's
it was
their fault.
All right,
That's
let's let it go.
So are you going to do another one? Can you do another one?
Well, after that happened, actually, New York Comedy Festival reached out to me and Amber, and asked if we wanted.
Oh, yeah, I read about Amber.
Asked if we wanted to headline a show at New York Comedy Festival, and I asked if instead of headlining we could do the show again at New York Comedy Festival, and they said yes. So we put on the show again
at Caroline's
at UCB.
Yeah. Okay.
And that was also sold out and a big hit. And we had on a few different comics, mostly the same. And now we're sort of trying to bring it back again. And I'm still working with this company that is trying to help me put it together. So I don't have, not that I don't have ultimate say, but it's still a process
Right.
of like trying to get it going at
Right.
a bigger venue or
Right.
whatever. But I think it will be back.
It better be back.
That's my
It
plan.
better be back.
I mean, it seems like people really want it. So I'm
Of
like,
course. If you ever, I mean, I am not a rape survivor. I have been sexually harassed multiple times, but I will help you in any way. I'll host it. I'll do whatever the fuck you want
well,
because
thank
I
you. I
love it.
appreciate that.
Yes. All right. So let's get to the night.
Right.
You do this thing. Is it Refinery 29 that does this, or you do, no? It's called Young Actors Night
It's called Actors Hour.
Okay.
And it's like a new organization that makes these exclusive artist events.
Right.
That are, I think it's supposed to be like almost feel like a artist speakeasy or like
Right.
a safe space for
young
actors.
actors and comedians.
I think it's mainly for actors, but it's like I think actors are a lot of times multi-hyphenated or they have like other.
Do they?
But I was
It's a
not
stage?
a part of the organization. I was like brought on to be on the show.
So what do the actors do at this?
I think it's a networking, and they're supposed to invite industry
And have
to
and do
network
like a
with people.
monologue? Like what do they fucking?
Well, some of them
yeah.
were like reading scenes that they wrote, and somebody did some poetry. I didn't stay for the whole thing, but
right.
But they're supposed to like invite industry, and this industry table is like what Weinstein was at.
So
he was
all right.
invited as like the industry.
Ugh. All right, so you get there, right? What does he? Are you already there when he walks in? Like
No, he's already there when I walk in.
he's there when you walk in, and because of the Me Too movement, you must feel triggered, but you also must feel like less alone. And empowered. I would assume you would feel triggered
I
and
definitely
empowered.
feel more empowered than if I had seen Harvey Weinstein anytime before.
Yeah. So if this happened like 4 years ago,
well, I wouldn't know he was a rapist, either.
Right.
But I just was kind of in shock mainly.
Right. So you
and
see him.
I sent a text. I was just looking at the text I sent to my ex-boyfriend, the guy I mentioned earlier.
Right.
He was who I texted because he has like the most familiarity with how much I used to.
The comic who.
Well, because when the news about Weinstein initially broke, like that he's a rapist.
Yeah.
I was with my ex-boyfriend,
Right.
and he remembers how much I freaked out about it.
Right.
Because I used to be an assistant to film producers, and I was like very connected to that world.
Okay.
But I'm looking for the text I sent my ex-boyfriend, which was basically just me freaking out and being like, is this a test? Like, do I
Right.
have to say something? And I have to say something, right? And everyone was like, you don't have to say anything. Like, you can just do your set if that's what... Because I remember being very attached to this idea that I was like, as they were filming it, that I wanted to tape my new set. And so I was like, should I just do my regular set? And my friend...
Right. Of course, you can't even think straight.
And I remember,
it's like fucking,
I remember
yeah.
Amber was like, just if you want to get your tape, get your tape. You know, you can do your regular set. She's like, you don't have to say anything. And
So how many people were? You weren't first, right? Were there people on before you?
Yeah, there were a couple people. There
And
was
no
like
one
a
said
play
anything.
reading, and there was a host at some time, and there was somebody.
And no one said anything.
No.
But were people talking like, oh my God, look who's here. Oh my God, look who's here.
Well, some people seemed to not know he was there. Other people seemed to not care that he's there. And then there was like a group of people near me that I was like talking to about it.
Freaking.
And they were freaking out. And that was one of those people is the people who who filmed my set.
Now, who was he sitting with?
He was sitting with a couple of I don't know how to describe these guys. Scary guys. He was sitting with like scary looking guys.
But were they in the industry, or were they like bodyguard types, or were they?
They looked like tough guys.
Oh, okay. Okay, gotcha. Okay, so
and then he was sitting with a woman as well.
oh, sweet. So you get called on stage after you're having this inner and outer
Yeah, I was like,
dialogue of,
yeah,
oh my God, what do I do?
I was actually at the point that it was time for me to go on stage. I sat myself on the floor next to the emergency exit because I was thinking about going out of the emergency exit.
Right.
And because Harvey Weinstein was sitting near like the actual exit, and there was only one,
And you would have to walk right by him.
yeah. And so I was like, if I just sit by this exit, I can just like get out.
Uh-huh.
And
Did you feel like he was going to attack you, or was it that he was the embodiment of this fucking horrible shit that happened to you?
well, I just felt afraid of like the room, knowing that he was invited. I knew he was invited by the time I was on stage, and so I knew that I was in a room of people that at least some of them like welcomed him.
Right. And
And so I was already anticipating like a mixed reaction of like some people booing me or whatever was about to happen.
Fuck them. Okay.
And also I do remember after I said what I was going to say, I was afraid. I remember I texted some of the producers I know and was just like, am I really okay? Like, is this man still powerful in any way? Like,
oh, see?
because I had just the week before been pitching a show like in LA, like to a bunch of producer people.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a big week in my life. And the host introduced me as like, Kelly's trying to sell her show. She just went to LA.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, don't say that. Because I knew I was about to like,
Right.
I was like, so can he still like call somebody and tell them to not buy my show? Or I was like, so I texted the company that I was trying to sell the show with and was like, can he still like, you know, I was like, just wanted to let you know I just did this thing. And if it's going to affect like the show in any way, I'm sorry. And they were like, no, he has no power. Like,
Yeah, fuck him.
Yeah.
So you get introduced.
Yeah.
You go on stage. Now,
Right.
I know what it's like to be on stage and make decisions of what you're going to talk about. Had you made the decision the moments before you went on stage, or did you get up there and felt empowered?
It was moments before I had made like a plan of what I could say. And I was like deciding sort of up to seconds before whether I should just do my regular jokes or say, like, because I had written down, like, I still have it on my,
On your phone?
I was writing a note on my phone,
Right.
which is titled WTF.
Yeah. Which means
And-
what the fuck, ladies and gentlemen. It means what the
And
fuck.
it just says, it's like from that night, it says, what's up, Actors Access?
Right.
I was trying to like come up with what I was going to say. And I wrote like, I forgot my mace and rape whistle. Does anyone have one?
So funny.
Like,
yeah.
but I just like, I wrote like everything. I wrote sort of everything I ended up saying, but I was just like writing it as
Of course.
like an option of what I could say. But I wrote that I wanted to transition into this joke I have about group therapy. So I was like, if they're not laughing, I can say this kills at group therapy for rape survivors, and then I can segue into my group therapy
That's
joke.
hilarious.
And so that was my plan.
Right.
Because I was like, I have a joke.
Right.
It
You
is
knew,
funny.
and that great comedians know that. Like, they know where they're going to go.
And I was planning to do that. But then when somebody said, shut up, that triggered me.
Yeah.
So then I kind of like lost my
It's
plan.
horrible. It's horrible. So,
And that's when I just said, like, I have been raped and, like, fuck you. And then what I did at that point was I just, like, I was like, well, now I'll get into my regular set. And then I just, like, did my full 10-minute set. But
can we play it, or do you not want to play it?
sure, you can play it.
Okay. Okay, ready? 5.8 million views. That's right, Kelly. You're a hero, baby. All right, ready? All right, here we go. Here it is.
Feeling a little tense? Anybody else? Yeah. I'm a comic. And
Okay, brilliant opening. I'm feeling a little tense. Anyone else? So immediately, elephant is out of the bag, but not in your face. I'm going to do a,
Thank you.
All right.
and it's our job to name the elephant in the room.
Oh, there you go.
Do we know what that is? Yeah. It's a Freddy Krueger in the room, if you
Excellent.
will. I didn't know that we have to bring our own maze and rape whistles to Actors Hour.
Okay. fucking great. Fucking great. Just fucking brilliant. Just fucking brilliant and great. Sorry.
Thank you.
Next. Okay. Only men booing.
Losers.
Only men booing. Only men booing.
Including the host of the show.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
I'll find out who that was and we'll discuss that. Only men booing. But yet, had a guy been up there talking about his fucking wife's big tits and I'm fucking my girlfriend up the ass and fucking yeah, that would have been like, all right, ready?
No. Shut up. No. Oh, shut up.
There's the shut up.
Mm-hmm.
Which is such a it's such a like fuck. I get it. It's so
very triggering because it's
Yeah.
like you can tell it's this young guy just
yeah.
being like,
Shut up.
"Shut up."
Like, and that's all he has. That's all he has. Okay, sorry, I'm going back a little. Okay, here we go.
Oh, shut up. Yeah. This kills that group therapy for rape survivors.
Fucking great joke. Fucking great joke. Fucking great. Like fucking amazing.
They love it. Yeah.
Yep. All the women.
I have been raped, surprisingly, by no one in this room, but
Excellent joke. Excellent joke.
Thanks, Judy.
I would have done. I mean, it's just.
I've never gotten to confront those guys, so just a general fuck you to whoever I,
Fucking amazing. Next. Thank God for the sisters.
Yeah, back to your...
So, not only brave, but funny, off the cuff, just smart humor. It was smart humor. It wasn't like, it was so, and classy, and in such a horrible situation. Were you nervous? Was your heart beating out of your fucking?
Yeah, I just saw the video at another angle. Like I got the tape from the
club itself. Yeah.
And I was doing this like very like trauma thing of like I was doing. You can see in the other. I'm like doing this like thing with my teeth, where I'm
Right.
like. It's
Because
like
your mouth gets dry.
Yeah, I'm like doing that, and I didn't really realize but I remember feeling like my face was like burning
Right.
hot, and I was shaking, and I remember thinking like I'm shaking so hard, and like in my mind my voice was shaking, and then I remember just really feeling like that stage fright feeling of like knees buckling, of like
Oh, I
I'm
know
gonna
that.
fall down.
That's not even stage fright.
Yeah,
because
it
I've
was
had
just-
that happen. That is a response to trauma.
Yeah,
it
was
really
like,
is.
I remember feeling like I'm like seeing red. Like I couldn't really, like I was trying not to really make, because what I'm saying at the end, I said like a general fuck you to whoever I'm not making eye contact with is what I'm saying.
Right.
Because I was like not making eye contact with these people, and then I really wanted to tell my group therapy joke, but I felt so tight that I like forgot whatever I was gonna say. So I just was like, you know what? And part of me just wanted to get off stage at that point and like drop the mic kind of thing, but which would have been fine.
How much more time did you do after that?
I did 10 minutes. Because
Fucking rock! Fucking rock!
Because I remember thinking like, you know what? Because I could already like imagine these guys in the back being like, well, she wasn't very funny though, was she? She didn't do her set. So
You're gonna not let them win.
So I wanted to like make them laugh. So I was like, I'm gonna make them laugh with my regular jokes, and then they can't even say that I wasn't funny.
Did they?
They did laugh at my other jokes.
The fucking assholes?
Yeah. Like they
It's
like got
fucking unbelievable.
I was like, because I was just like
power of humor.
I was like, I'm gonna make these motherfuckers laugh. I'm gonna tell a poop joke or something. Like they're gonna laugh at least
Right.
one of my jokes. And so I did my regular set, and then occasionally I would sort of bring it back. I would just like remind them. I would be like, I am a rape survivor. Don't forget. Or I'd be like, because my poop joke is
great.
like about having IBS.
Right.
So I just like
Right.
mentioned that. Or like there was another time I brought it up. It was like Or you know where I brought it up? It was
Fucking
maybe
brilliant.
if it wasn't that. I think where I brought it up, I have a joke about going to a sex party,
Yeah.
and I think I just looked over at Harvey and I was like, "Consent is important." Like, just.
So, as someone who's been doing stand up, since I'm 19 years, I mean, like most of my life, the way you went from, addressing the elephant, using humor, using jokes to sort of stick the, like you're not better than me. You don't have power over me. And then using that humor, then going to your set and saying, this is who I am. This is what I do and I'm good at it.
Mm-hmm.
And also, humor is something that unites people, that disarms people. The fact that you went up there and sort of attacked them, and I don't mean it like in a negative way, and then fucking had control over them. You had control over them with your is the fucking definition of great comedy and speaking truth to power, and you should be so fucking proud of yourself.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
It's true.
When I got off stage at first, I remember I immediately went over to Amber, and actually my cousin was randomly there, which was a total accident. Like I didn't even know she was like in New York, and so I went over to them, and I was like, were people laughing? Because I was so like seeing red that I wasn't
you weren't present. You were like it was like I
was on like autopilot.
Yeah.
Like when I got into my regular set, I was like not even hearing responses.
Right.
I was like, I'm just gonna tell these jokes, and they were like, "No, Kelly, it was funny. Like people were laughing," and I was like, "Are you sure?" And then at that point I was just trying to plot my exit. I was like, "When do we leave? Like how do we leave?
Right.
We can't leave now because we're gonna have to walk by those people," and then we waited until. We were going to wait until like intermission or something.
Yeah.
And then that comic went up that said like, is the producer of Good Will Hunting here? Because that shit's a good movie or something.
Oh my God.
Motherfucker.
A male comic.
Yeah. He said, I also want to call it an elephant in the room. Is the producer of Good Will Hunting here? Because I love that movie.
Okay. Will we be naming this comic?
I don't know his name. I don't know this man. Fuck. I know his like.
How old?
He is someone like you can find like people like went after him on Twitter. I forget his name, but he's like from Florida and he's kind of like I don't know.
How old?
He can't be like older than mid-30s.
Okay.
But people like he had a statement to like BuzzFeed or something being like, I swear I'm not a piece of shit or something.
Well, yeah, you are. Yeah, you are a fucking piece of shit. You are like.
And then there was one other comic that went up later. That's someone is a friend of mine, and he said he like did his regular set, and it was like very because this is what long after I left, but the show like did go on,
right?
But yeah, and I left when Zoe. Like screamed. I was like, finally a sane person. Let's go.
Right.
Like this is a chance to leave.
Yeah, good for Zoe and Amber. Yeah,
because Zoe was screaming out, like, is no one gonna fucking say anything?
Yeah, I saw that.
Like,
yeah,
I was like, let's go over to Zoe and just say like, let's get out of here before someone like slaps them in the face. So I was like, let's go. And then Zoe, we walked out, and then some other women walked out with us and were like, what's going on in there? Was that really? And I remember it was like a bunch of older women being like, I saw what was going on in there and I was with you. And I was like, yeah, thanks. I didn't hear you.
Right.
I was like, when I was performing that to silence.
Right. Did have you ever performed in that room again?
No.
Hate mail versus thank you mail.
It's been a lot of thank you, a lot of like
Good.
So proud and all that.
More than
just like a very few, like just kind of like mean.
Any
notes.
Mean shit from women.
I I don't think I don't really read a lot of comments.
Good for you. Good for you. Very good.
but definitely I don't know. I've had a couple. There's sort of like women survivors being
right.
like saying like rape jokes are triggering no matter where they come from. There's like to me like the fact that I'm telling jokes about this after the fact.
Too bad.
It's like because I've written a set about this.
Of course.
And I do get that reaction of like your jokes are triggering.
Fuck you. Fuck the triggering fucking shit. Too bad. Everything's a trigger. You walk outside, there's a fucking trigger.
Yeah.
Get up. You live in New York. That's a trigger.
Like,
fucking shut the fuck
would
up.
Like people to process those emotions with someone else.
Right. Exactly.
Like the emotions are valid, and I don't want to hear them.
I can't thank you enough. Like you are gonna change the world. You are the embodiment of just what is so great about art. You really are.
Thank
and
you.
I am a fan. I have not said that to a lot of people, but
thank you.
You're fucking great.
Now I just have to follow up.
Yeah, no,
something good.
No. Whatever you do is going to be good. Now,
yeah.
Since you're on my podcast, Kill Me Now, which is I named my podcast Kill Me Now because I get annoyed at everything, and I'm always like walking around going, Kill me now. Like today, I was walking here, took the subway. First of all, I walked to the subway. Literally, I'm walking on the right side of the street, like the street I should be walking for that direction, the right side, And there's a guy walking towards me, literally looking at his phone, never looks up, to the point where I had to go. I'm gigantic. I'm fucking huge. Anyway, I put my hand in front of him, like, hello, all the way until I thought he was going to walk into my hand. Mm-hmm. Never fucking looks up. Never fucking, like, what the fuck? And then it's like people are literally staring at their phone and, like, fucking walking. And, like, get out of the subway, like, car, so I can get in, you fucking fuck. So anyway, we always ask people 2 questions here.
Okay. 1,
we're very pro mental health. So I take a lot of antidepressants. I meditate. I've had, depression and anxiety. So we're very pro that. So have you ever been on antidepressants?
I have not.
And what do you do for your mental health?
My big thing for the last couple of years, I start before I even do anything, I write 3 pages, like longhand.
Oh my God. I think I'm in love with you.
Before I even like eat breakfast.
I love you. I do. I write longhand too before I put it on the computer. Okay.
Because there's like no pressure on what it has to be about.
Right.
And it's
That's
just
like the artist way, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is from the artist way.
Oh, see, I know that. Okay.
And that's probably my most consistent thing. And
therapy.
I don't know, therapy when I have a good therapist.
Right.
And yeah.
Okay. And what pisses you off more than anything in the entire fucking world? Like makes you fucking crazy?
Unsolicited advice.
No, I don't think anyone said that.
I've been getting so much of it lately, and it's like I'm to the point of getting unsolicited advice that the next person that tells me to tie my shoes, like I'm gonna like go off on, and I don't go off.
You got to write about that.
I'm just like, because it's just so many people, and for some reason, because of this topic, like people feel so like
they're connected.
People feel so emboldened,
but also
like,
they want you to be the messenger. Yeah.
And I get it. It's really a tough, sensitive subject,
right.
And we are all connected to it as survivors or even as just human beings. But damn.
Leave me alone.
I'm just trying to do my thing. I didn't ask for this.
I love it.
But also, I hate when people talk about their mom. I'm so sorry. I've been thinking about it the whole time. I talked. This podcast started me talking shit about my mom. Did I talk shit about my mom?
No, you were talking about how she was Catholic. It was my topic.
You were going to talk about the combination of Catholic and Jewish guilt?
Oh,
There's
please.
no coming back.
Yeah, I know.
I'm sorry. I love my mom. My mom birthed me. My mom birthed 4 children, and she's amazing.
And she's a
she
nurse.
she does for her children.
I love her.
I love her.
Mom, don't hate
And
me.
she loves God, and that's why she's Catholic, because she loves God. There's no other reason.
Okay.
Ah!
No, that was my issue. That's not your issue.
But I feel like I gave all these like complicated reasons about my mom is Catholic, and she would just be like, "I love God. What else?"
I know. It's just me because I'm fascinated by that.
But I feel like
Because you know what? My ex's mother did
I
the
feel
same
like
thing.
I did her dirty, and I'm sorry.
No, you didn't. She came out sounding wonderful.
I can hear her. You know what she's saying?
What?
She's saying, "I'm your freaking mother, for God's sake."
All right, I'll call. You be your mother and I'll be you. Hi, Mom.
Hey, I'm your freaking mother.
No, I didn't tell you about the podcast yet.
She already listened to it.
All right.
You know why? Because I listen to everything you do, Kelly. I'm your number one fan.
I love her. I just want to say that was about me and not you. Not, you made a wonderful human. You did an incredible job, Mom and Dad.
Yeah, both of them. And you know what? They still get along. They're neighbors.
I
and
love
my
that.
mom goes over to my dad's for dessert after dinner.
Oh, you have a good life. And I'm sorry. I read. You said in one of your pieces that you wrote about that the time. You just want the time back that you have spent processing this shit.
Yeah,
and the trauma.
I want to get back. I've always been an artist,
Right.
And
you want that time, and you have a lot of time ahead of you. But if I could go back in time, the amount of time I have spent being depressed and anxious, that's the time I want back.
right.
It's just. But you're fucking young. You're talented. You're beautiful. It's going to happen. I'm telling you.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. And I'll be in a nursing home. Okay? You better
Okay.
come visit me. I'll be in the Hebrew home for the aged.
Oh, nice.
No, I want to go. There's a new gay one that just opened up.
My grandma's at a gay one,
No way. Where?
and it's
can't
in Napa Valley.
I
It's
can't
very
believe we
gorgeous.
didn't talk. So your grandmother's a leslie and your grandfather's is dead, but did he have a boyfriend?
He did have a partner, yeah.
And
And
did you like him?
Oh, I never met. He died
Oh.
He died of
Oh.
AIDS when I was like a little baby.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this story is fucking amazing. And then your grandmother, does she have
She has a partner, yeah.
and they live together there?
They live in the home, yeah.
So you
Actually, my grandmother's wife converted to Judaism. They got one back.
That's fucking great. You're a delight. I can't thank you enough. I'm sure you get a lot of people asking you to do shit, but I'm so happy you did this.
No, I'm glad I'm here.
All right,
And,
good. I hope this brightens your day, your year. So where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Kelly Bachman, on Twitter,
BACHMAN.
and Twitter at Belly Cockman.
At Belly Cockman?
It's my name reversed.
I know what the fuck it is. I think it's so funny, Belly Cockman. You're an ass. And I just can't thank you enough. And as we always say, thank you for listening. And so long.
And everything was wonderful. I'll see you soon. Thank you for the visit. So long.